Guys, last night I hit 1,900 subscribers, which is actually pretty cool since just yesterday I did my live Q&A for 1,800 subscribers. This last week has been bonkers. Thank you guys so much for making that happen because, as it turns out, it's a wonderful birthday present to this channel. Sean Chandler Talks About turns 1 year old today. And so basically 1 year ago today, I put up my first review on this channel as Sean Chandler Talks About, and it was for Ghostbusters. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I actually was like, it's not as bad as people are saying. I need to rewatch it because maybe it is as bad, and I was just being too kind to it since I was starting a new channel. I didn't want to be too mean or too ranty right out of the gate. But 1 year later, we're at 1,900 subscribers, and that is all because of you guys. Thank you so much for watching the videos, commenting, liking, all that fun stuff. You guys have made this so much fun to have conversations with you. I've even made some really good friends out of being a part of this channel and talking movies with you guys. Now, while Sean Chandler Talks About turns 1 year old today, this channel's actually been around for about 4 or 5 years, and I actually put the first video up where I reviewed stuff for it back in May of 2013, 4 years ago. And the channel was kind of the same and kind of quite different. You can tell I was still figuring things out. I didn't have the equipment figured out. So I thought it would be fun if I were to watch the very first movie review I put up on this channel. There's 2 videos before it. I have a video of me getting hit in the face with a fireball. And then I have a video where I reviewed Arrow. But since I mostly do movie reviews on here, I thought it would be fun to look at my very first movie review. So without further delay, I'm going to watch this along with you guys and pause in certain moments to comment on stuff. So let's do this. 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Gotta pause it right out of the gate. So it starts off, and I just sit there for 3 seconds, licking my lips and looking around. That's where this channel is at, so it's come a little ways in the editing process of going, hey, maybe I shouldn't sit there licking my lips for 3 seconds. And you can tell I've aged a little bit, have gotten a slightly different hairstyle, gained quite a bit of weight, and I'm filming things in a very different location. But I still start off with, hey. So some things never change. So let's continue onward.
It's also very funny. There are just those quick little one-liners thrown in throughout the entire film, and even when it's really tense, they manage to find just that little one line to throw in there that's just hilarious. And one of the things they did really well with this film is that they knew that people were going to be guessing as to where they were going and how much it was going to tie into the previous canon, and they really used that to kind of mess with us because they put something in there and misdirects, and you think it's going in one direction, and then it goes in a different direction, and I think, oh, I've got it figured out. I'd start nudging my wife, and then...
So, I mean, I guess watching it, it's not too terribly cringy. Fair enough analysis of my initial response to it. As for trying to review a movie, it's kind of nice if you establish a little bit more before you go into talking about it, but hey, we all do things a little bit differently, and young Sean apparently didn't want to establish anything besides my initial thoughts on it right out of the gate. But I guess one thing people have observed to me is that I apparently talk much higher, faster, louder, and the longer this channel goes on, the higher pitched and screamier my voice gets as I do videos. And so you watch this very early one, and hi guys, I'm going to do my spoiler-free review of Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm going to tell you I really liked it. It's kind of funny just to watch it because I have to actively hold back to be able to do that while on camera now, even though that's probably much closer to how I actually talk in real life. So just kind of funny the way that works out. But I didn't mean to change my voice. I don't mean to talk as high and screamy. It's just my brain has kind of been rewired when I try and go into dynamic communicator mode, and suddenly I start screaming. And like right now, I'm still doing it. I'm not intentionally shaking my hands. I'm just doing it. Let's see what else young Sean has to say about Star Trek Into Darkness.
Lines. The whole movie just kind of has a series of mysteries that are revealed as to what's going on, and is it this person or is it this person? Are they good? Are they bad? Where's this headed? The whole movie is just a series of kind of reveals that really pay off
Maybe not
well.
The best way to do a movie. Right?
And one thing that I think this film really establishes is that J.J. Abrams' continuity, they're really using it to an advantage. It's not just that the first film was like an excuse to reboot things so they could do things different. It's like the events of the first film
I don't have nearly as much to
actually affect
criticize
this
about myself as I
universe.
thought.
This universe is different than it was in the previous film, and they kind of really make that clear through some of the dialogue and the direction that the...
It's interesting, just even in the way I talk about it, because I did this, whenever the movie first came out, and how the legacy of the movie is much more negative, and how it's famous for all those misdirects I'm talking about now being negatives, that they were lying to the audience in some of that stuff. And so they're kind of misdirects, and they're kind of overt lies where the audience knew in advance this is going to be con, and they lied to us. So it's interesting, my take on it back then. I still like the movie. I actually really still like the movie, so I shouldn't be too negative on it. But apparently I still move my eyebrows around a lot since I'm watching this being like, what am I doing with my face? But anyway, let's continue watching this. Actually, not nearly as much. It's not as fun as I thought it would be, because I was just kind of like, oh, I'm saying ideas that aren't too terribly bad, just not as Red Bull in charged as I do right now.
One thing that was also interesting is that, like, the commercials for it kind of gave me the impression that one thing was going to happen, or something happened at one point in time in the movie, and it actually happened at a different point in time in the movie. And I don't know if that was intentional and they were just trying to mess with us and try and trick us with the advertising, but I thought it worked really well. All around, the cast did a great job. Everyone's doing a better version of the characters that they initiated in the previous film. Benedict Cumberbatch did an amazing job. And likewise, it was great to see Peter Weller back in a big mainstream blockbuster, and I really very much appreciate that. As for some of the not-so-good things, they tried to, and they're kind of balancing how much to play homage, how much to reference things. Some of that worked great, and some of it I didn't think worked as well, and I'd be really interested to hear the opinions of someone that, on some of these plot points and little references, of someone who's doesn't catch all of them. If how some of the scenes work, how some of the gags work, how some of the references work. If you don't have, like me, I went to Star Trek conventions in middle and high school. I've seen every episode of original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and like I catch all that stuff, and I'm interested to see if it's meaningful for people who haven't. And one kind of final thought is that if you weren't a big fan of J.J. Abrams' previous Star Trek film, I don't think this one's going to win you over. I don't think it's going to steer the ship back in the direction you probably want it to go. This is very much a continuation of where he was going with that. The same pacing. And if you like that film, I'm thinking you'd like this one as well. I thought it was great. My first impression review, which might change, I'm seeing it tonight, is it's probably an 8.5 out of 10 is what I would give it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
You hear me clicking, trying to get the camera to stop at the end. Classic. All kinds of fun. Anyway, yeah, so there's my very first movie review on this channel. I don't have too many, I can't pick on myself too much. It's not terrible. It's not terribly in depth of trying to kind of analyze the story structure, the way things fit together, and picking up on some stuff or giving you better reasons other than it's funny. It's fast-paced. There are reveals. It's pretty shallow, but then again, I'm probably a pretty shallow reviewer anyway, just giving you my impression of the way I feel about it. So anyway, there you go. If you want to see my very first one, there it is. You have now seen it, watched it along with me, and maybe it wasn't as much fun as I thought it was going to be, since it wasn't as cringy as I was hoping it would be, but you can see the change in my temperament, personality, energy level, quality of production, and other things of that nature. There you go. Once again, I'm going to have several different videos this week talking about the channel and watching a few different videos, some of my favorite, like most viewed videos, least viewed videos, just different stuff, reflecting on some of that stuff. I haven't even decided all. If you have any ideas of specific things you want me to do, go ahead and put them in the comment section of recommendations for thoughts for what would be fun for me to possibly do this week. But yeah, there you go. Thank you guys for subscribing one more time. Happy birthday, channel. That was not nearly enough confetti to make that exciting. And this isn't confetti. These are actually pieces of paper. I don't know what I'm talking about. If you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. And how did you end up watching this video as your first video on this channel? If you don't know, I normally do movie reviews, TV reviews. I do ranking videos every single weekend, as well as one midweek where I talk about the latest movies coming out, as well as some of the series you guys have asked me to rank. But I don't want to just talk about movies, I want to talk about movies with you guys. So please join me in the comments section. Let's get a lively discussion, and thank you for watching and getting us to 1 year and making it awesome. Thank you.